Is the idea like my stove is now fully charged? Let's say you live in Berkeley and they decide to switch off your electricity or something. Will I be able to charge my phone from my normal plug because the stove is pushing power back into the home?
So we're not launching with explicit backup capability. So like with the stove able to like power your house when the power's out. To do backup, you need to have like a switch to disconnect your house from the grid. What you can do though is like when you're tied to the grid, we're able to basically support the grid with the battery. We've deployed a reasonably large battery, and that is then able to offset your home electricity during those peak hours that are more expensive. And so the savings can end up being in parts of California, depending on your rate plan, you can end up saving hundreds of dollars a year.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Like, how does it know this is a cheap time versus an expensive time? And how does it like push the power?
In many states, there's what's called time of use energy rate. So it's like pretty much a standard schedule. And so you would just select your rate plan and then it does it basically. So it's like it will just choose to charge the battery at like any time that isn't 4 to 9 p.m. or something like that. This is like the simple way to think of it. And then you'll literally save like 10 or 20 cents a kilowatt hour if you charge the battery outside that window. And then the second thing is when you're in that window, it's usually when you're cooking dinner. So like you essentially will be able to cook with energy that was bought for more cheaply than your like it currently is at that time. The product has an inverter in it. And so an inverter it converts DC to AC, but basically it lets you turn the battery energy into grid energy effectively. Battery energy that you're not using to cook your meals, you could push into your house to run other appliances or your laptop or whatever to instead of grabbing new energy from the grid at that time that would be more expensive. So you can actually use it as like almost like an energy trading desk kind of thing. And the goal is you don't notice or have to really micromanage this. You'll always have enough energy to cook.
Let's just say California, I mean, maybe San Francisco since we live here. Like how much electricity money do you think this would save?
Yeah, so it depends on the rate plan. There's some really aggressive time of use plans that PG&E just rolled out. I think it's on the order of like the plans like a year or two ago were more like $70 savings a year, which is not a crazy amount, but it's still like somewhat for a battery this size. It's now like, I think in the many hundreds, like 200 plus, if you're on some of these like more battery favoring plans. I know in Southern California, it's been stark like this for even like at least the 2 years I've been paying attention to this, where it's like you can save like $250 to $300 on a 3 kilowatt hour battery, which is pretty crazy. So there's actually really big opportunity here just to lessen the effective price of the product, basically.